Are you tired you don't know what to do? Do you feel you lack inspiration for creating? Well, you've come to the right place. Now, let's get something straight. There are a lot of channels out there that teach you how to do X and Y and how to add lights and how to do it properly and how to make it look good. But all of this is quite technical, and I think they miss out on one of the most important things, which is the artistic part, the soul. Imagine being so talented, but so empty that even with all your great talent, you won't be able to create anything meaningful. You can paint the perfect image, but it will lack soul. And yes, this sounds like AI, but no, I'm talking about humans, and I won't accept that type of attitude in my channel. So in order to help us find what to create, I'm going to show you this ancient method that was definitely not made up by me 5 minutes ago, and was prominently used by Sir Didymus, the mirror method. Mirror your life and interests in the work you do to rediscover what you are, how you are, and that which can only be relived through art. And this is where our dance with the known and the unknown is going to begin. And this could be even easy and hard mode, but don't be fooled for that, because many people would feel more comfortable in one and then other in the other one. So don't worry about that. All that I'm about to explain won't matter unless you have the last part of it. So make sure you stay until the end of the video to find out. Narratives. Illustrate a story, you know. Narratives have always been a way to archive human achievement and the human condition. We have stories that tell from a very simple hunt to what does it mean to be human. So find a folklore tale from your favorite culture, a myth, and illustrate it. I wouldn't recommend movies because they already have this visual material on top of it, and what we're trying to do is to, make our brains work. We need to create the visual part ourselves, not just copy it. Even though there is a case for copying, but that's not what we're trying to do in this video. Take into account that when we illustrate a story, we're not just illustrating the story, we're illustrating part of ourselves. There's a reason why we like that story, why we chose to illustrate that story, and what part of the story we're going to illustrate, and that speaks about the artist. Now, if you want to go to the hard mode, to the unknown, then you could try something like the Folk Week Challenge, which I did in a last video. Search for new stories. There's a million of them, and I'm sure that one of them, from all those millions that are out there, is going to grab your attention. Really, like if you really search, there are weird stories, there are heartbreaking stories. Just choose a culture and put name of the culture, folk stories. Themes. Themes are a great way to start your inspiration, and you can combine it with all that we're going to talk about. Maybe you feel trapped, maybe you feel loved, maybe you feel hopeful. Find a way of creating these images. Try to express those emotions. And here we go to the unknown part. Put yourself in a position that you haven't been before. This could be related to method acting, where the actors kind of embody the character itself, even if they're not shooting the film. They partake in some experiences that the character of the movie have been in, so they try to make themselves be the character more in real life. And while some people may consider this to be a little bit controversial, some people consider it to be brilliant. So maybe you want to illustrate how the depravity of sleep affects you. Then you could basically just stay one day without sleeping, and then in the moment where you want to sleep the most, just start drawing, start painting, start creating something, and show how you feel, show how this is affecting you. And the next time somebody sees that work that it really wants some sleep, maybe you could find a connection there. This also often happens in music. A band can change their environment drastically and express something new. Places and spaces. Remember places that feel close to you. Maybe a place you've been last week, maybe a place that you were in your childhood. Places that are important, places you miss, or places that don't exist anymore. It can be a place that everybody knows, or it can be a place very intimate to you. It can even be a place that nobody would ever think of showing. And in this case, if you want to go into the hard lane and battle the unknown, then you could do something simple like maybe take a different route back home. Take a bus to a place you've never been before. Travel. Research about a place that was or will be. I'm sure there's a lot of inspiration there, and I guarantee you that if you look at old disappearing civilizations or buildings, you're gonna find something very interesting. For example, this is my favorite place that disappeared. Cool, huh? Identity.
Wait a minute! Who you.
If there's something everyone has to wrestle against all our lives is, who are we? And then when you get to figure out what are you, then you have to figure out what type of that are you. Once you decide you want to be an artist, then you have to decide what type of artist you want to be. And this is something that stays all your life. But expressing this struggle can also serve as a catalyzer. And if somebody doesn't know how they feel and they see your work, they can identify with it. They can see themselves and be like, that's how I feel, that's how I am, but I can't put it into words. Thank you, artist, I'm going to pay you $1 million. I'll buy your work.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
In this point, we need to highlight two things that could take us to a path of self-discovery in our art. How people see themselves. We always forget that our persona is different from what we think of ourselves. People can think I am a cool person, but maybe for me I am not. You can take, for example, Anakin Skywalker. He definitely has a different perspective of himself, of what the entire universe thinks of him. Take that into account. And who is the real Anakin Skywalker? Well, complicated. How the world sees people. This is the other side of the coin. Now we get on the perception of a group to an individual or to another group. And if you really want to get personal, then there's how the world sees you. Limits. They say that limitation is what fuels creativity. And I agree to a certain extent. Having certain limitations or putting yourself conscious barriers will definitely push you to places you would have never been without it. Maybe you can focus on something with contrast, perspective, shape, maybe just on guiding lines. And there's hundreds of artistic words you could use and base your exercise on, which you can find a very big list on my Patreon. Or if we take another example from music, some bands can take a palette of sounds and use them to create an album without going outside of it. Maybe this should be a purely string album, maybe just the sounds of synth.
That to me, it's like, yeah, you're writing a song to a jam. Instead of having a song, or like you would say, you have a song, it's like, well, what about the sounds? You know, sometimes when you have these sounds, and that sets your sort of, that's your palette, then it seems like it's almost easier to write the song in that sound realm, you know, than vice versa.
And it may seem hard at first, but it will really push your creativity to make maybe a song sound completely different from the other, even if it has the same sounds. How would you do it? Right? Now think about an album. Now that's very interesting for me. I tried something similar in this video, where I created the same model in different programs that I have never used before. And to be honest, I wouldn't be able to create all the things I did if it wasn't for the challenge. The results were very interesting. I wouldn't be able to have that results if I didn't put myself into that type of situation. And the last and most important tip you need is this. Without it, all the others won't matter, really.
Air duct. Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
This is where you truly start.
Courage.
Don't make art for other people. Make art for yourself and then share it to other people.
Courage.
Eventually, the ones who would like it will come to you. Be courageous. Make things without thinking if people will like it or not. And I know, it's very hard to make something very personal and then release it to the world, especially if the first comments you have are, "No, it's not that good," or,
"Hey, have you tried AI art? It's awesome."
but stay with me. This is what is needed in the world. True emotions and expressions. Once you create something, it will live forever. Maybe in someone's phone, maybe in an art gallery, in a piece of paper, in people's memories. It will stay in people's memories all their lives. Even if they don't remember it consciously, I bet you that unconsciously it affected them. Because at the end, you are showing yourself. And they are seeing themselves and yourself in it. And that's why it's a mirror. I hope you liked this video, and I have a Patreon now. I'm hoping to add many things there in the future, so join. So please, if you want to help me, subscribe and like, and I will put the links in the description. So thank you so much, and see you again later. Bye.